Old pictures.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty neat.
It is.
So here we are at the haunted Cork Street Tavern in Old Town Winchester.
Yeah.
And I'm excited before we get into any stories and stuff like that.
Right.
Let's look over the menu.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's going to be the most exciting thing. We kind of looked it up online to see what the reviews were.
Mm-hmm.
Good reviews here so far.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, and looks like a hearty menu, so I'm excited to open this thing up and see what they
I
got.
want to see what burgers they've got.
So we got a plethora of appetizers, salads, and of course, the entrees look pretty good. But I'm looking for one of those burgers, I think, that I saw on in the picture.
That's exactly what I'm looking for, because that picture, the burgers are on the next page. I think that might be what I have to do.
Oh yeah, there they are.
They have a rodeo barbecue burger that sounds good.
Rodeo barbecue
Ooh,
burger.
spicy Southwest burger. Jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and chipotle mayonnaise. That sounds
Look
good.
at that. And the prime rib burger right at the top there. Man, that looks pretty good. So what's cool is the back of the menu, it has the history of the tavern here. And it's talking about Cork Street. Cork Street is one of the oldest streets in Winchester that has its original name that was given by Lord Fairfax in 1759. So it's a very old street here in Winchester. And the building that the Cork Street Tavern is in was completed in the 1830s. So it sat here a long time. It survived shelling during the Civil War. They said that during the Civil War, the town of Winchester, as we all know, it's changed hands so many times. I believe over 70 times.
70, yeah.
You know, so this building was standing here during the war, and it survived that. And during the Great Depression, the tavern was still used as a restaurant. During the Prohibition, it was used. And it just, ownership changed hands over the years, and in 1985 was when they decided to get together and build the Cork Street, or rename it the Cork Street Tavern, and do some extensive renovations here. So it's got quite a bit of history to it. Some of those pictures that we saw coming in, the rustic tavern and stuff, were this building, which is pretty cool. And to think of all the history that this has, from the war, from the Great Depression. I mean, these were, of course, emotional times. Linda found out a little bit of the information on some of the spirits that may linger here in the Cork Street Tavern.
So there's a couple of spirits, at least, that are said to inhabit this place. And one of them is named Emily, and the other was named John Mann. And occasionally you can hear Emily's voice calling John's name. Now, John is one of those who is said to, I guess they move objects around the restaurant and just kind of do strange things like that. Nothing violent here. The only thing that they say is odd is that there's a story of women being locked in the women's restroom. Supposedly they go in there to use the potty, and when they try to come out, they're locked in. And there's also an entrance and an exit to the kitchen where they say once a day a woman will stumble coming out of that kitchen. And they always claim that somebody has tripped them. Now the waitress has told us that they're very clumsy around here, which very well could be. But who knows? We might see if we can try to use the bathroom later on and get locked in, or go over there and see if maybe there's a threshold or something where they enter and exit the kitchen.
That's right. But before we do that, let's take a look at these macho nachos. This is my favorite part right here. Look at these things. Look amazing with chili.
Whoa.
Is that pico de gallo?
Oh, there's everything is on here.
Jalapenos,
This
olives.
is nice.
Man, we got some sour cream on the side there, and some
Yeah.
other vegetable-looking things. Maybe salsa. I don't know, but they definitely look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And the verdict seems to be thumbs up, huh?
Well, I've been into one that has some kind of sauce, but it's also got chili on it, so it's mostly chili, on this particular piece. But it's good chili so far.
Well, when I take a bite of this nacho, I want to make sure, and let me unravel my silverware here
Yeah,
if I
'cause
can.
you're gonna need that napkin.
I am. But I want to make sure that I get a little bit of everything on there. So I want to make sure that I get there's some beans on there.
Yeah.
And a little bit of black olives. Some of the jalapenos. And then
There you go.
a little bit of this.
Tomatoes and, yeah, load it up.
And then whatever this stuff is over
That's
here,
the pico.
the vegetable stuff.
That's pico de gallo.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
That
That's
good.
a nacho right there, right? Mmm. That's a good nacho. So I gotta say, I have one rule with nachos, and that's keep going until all the jalapenos are gone. And I think I succeeded here. I didn't miss any, did I?
I don't know. Let's look under this chip.
Yep, we gotta make sure.
I think you got them all.
Took care of the sour cream too.
You did. You kind of commandeered that.
But I gotta say, those were quite possibly the best nachos I've ever had.
I
Don't
think
you?
they probably were. They were extremely good. Thank you.
So the burgers have arrived. And here I have the prime rib burger. Let's take a look at this thing. Oh, man. All right, so this burger is cooked medium, topped with seasoned ribeye, horseradish aioli,
Aioli.
cheddar cheese, and a side of au jus. All right, looks pretty good. I can't wait to tear into that thing. Now you got the spicy Southwest burger. Go ahead and peel back that. Let's take a look.
All right.
This is piled high with sliced jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and chipotle mayo.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Chipotle mayo sounds like an interesting thing.
It does. It sounds really good. Yeah, I'm
Have
kind
you
of
had such a
excited
thing
about it.
before?
I don't think so. Maybe I have. I feel like at Moe's, they might have like Chipotle Ranch or something. Is that what it is?
Like the ranch sounds right. The Chipotle
Yeah,
ranch.
but maybe not Chipotle
Not
mayo.
Chipotle mayo though. Like ranch is something you mix hot sauce with every once in a while.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Buffalo sauce.
Sounds pretty good though.
But it'd be interesting. Those fries look pretty good too.
They are really good. They're just extremely hot. Okay.
It's gonna be really hot. But I'm gonna pull this sword out of the top of it here. And dip it in this au jus. And I like to take a little bite whenever I try something new. Just to kind of get the flavor, you know, kind of savor it a little bit. Mmm. That's a good burger.
Oh yeah, you can see it's still a little bit pink in there.
Cooked to perfection.
Is it?
Perfect medium burger. Now I see you tore into that burger, and I noticed you have it upside down.
I do.
Or you did when you took the bite out of it.
That's something that I learned from my father when I was very young, and it makes perfect sense. If you notice, the top part of the bun is always thicker than the bottom part of the bun. And so you turn it upside down because it gives the burger more support while you're eating it. It's supported on the bigger half of the bun. You got to build that solid foundation for enjoying, you know, your eating experience of a burger or a sandwich.
I see. Now, when you do it that way,
Yeah.
do you put the ketchup and the mustard on the bottom of the burger, or do you still put it on the top?
I'll put it wherever it ends up falling. It doesn't matter. It's all getting ground up and gone into the stomach anyway. But yes, that's the Cassida method.
I wonder why both sides of the burger aren't just big.
I wonder too.
Make life easier.
It would kind of make life easier, yeah.
So I gotta say, I think
Thank you.
we got the perfect seat here because we can see people come and go out of the kitchen. I haven't seen anybody trip yet.
I haven't either. I've been watching. Nobody's tripped. Maybe they tripped earlier in the day, or maybe it's a, you know, kind of an exaggeration of what actually happened.
Who knows? But there's still the bathroom.
There is, and I'm planning on going to visit that very soon.
Hopefully you come out.
Hopefully. If not, you'll hear me yelling because it's right around the corner here.
All right. So I have to say, the food was incredible at the Cork Street Tavern.
It was.
I would definitely recommend stopping in here if you're in Old Town Winchester.
Oh, yeah.
Great atmosphere, and it's a huge building.
It is.
There was a sign, you
Very
may have
big.
seen a clip of it in the video. It was from the taxi company that
Right.
used to be next door, Paulie's Taxi.
Paulie's Taxis.
And they still have the sign in there. That taxi service, I guess they tore down the building to extend the pub,
Yeah.
the tavern at one point in time.
Mhm.
And now it's 1, 2, 3 sections, and then the kitchen is in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
But you went to the
Very big.
bathroom,
I did.
and you're here,
I am.
so
I got
I'm
out.
assuming...
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, when you walk in, of course, the first thing I wanted to pay attention to was what kind of a door it was. It's kind of odd to find a doorknob on the outside of a bathroom that actually has a key that you put into it.
Really?
And that's exactly what this had, which I thought was interesting. You would think that if people were getting locked in on occasion, that maybe the owners would change the door knob so that it wasn't one of those that you can lock from the outside. But you could lock this one from the outside. See, I was that's the one thing I was thinking, is either he had probably already changed the hardware on the door, or something of that nature. But
So you think someone's going by while they're in there and playing a prank on them, or what?
no, I'm just saying that it is possible to get locked in from the outside. It does lock from the outside, which is kind of an odd feature
Right.
for a door like that. So
was
it's
it a button
possible.
or just a keyhole on the outside?
On the outside, it was just a keyhole.
Just a keyhole.
Yep, it had the handle, but then it had the keyhole where you put the key in and you can turn it and
Right.
lock it. So I don't know why anybody would be, locked in there. I guess it is possible that it could have been toward the end of the day, and maybe somebody thought there was nobody in there. But you would think if somebody was actually, like the manager was locking the door, they would knock first and make sure there's nobody in there first before they
Right.
just went and locked it. So,
Right.
so it is possible. However, I did not get locked in there. Thank goodness.
Good,
Yeah.
good. And what you also found, you mentioned when you were doing a little bit of research,
Uh-huh.
that this place was a brothel at one time? Is that what
It
one
was.
of the references said?
Yeah, after the building was built and finished in the 1830s, it was used by many different businesses, and one of those was actually a brothel. So brothels attract a lot of people, some unsavory types. There's probably a lot of energy left over from when it was used as a brothel as well.
Right, and perhaps this spirit that is tripping the women,
Yes.
maybe locking them in the bathroom, maybe it's somebody from those days.
That's exactly
Someone that was
right.
kind of getting a little fresh with some of the women that worked here, and still lingers around messing with them.
Yep.
I've also heard, and I can't remember where I've heard it, so I can't quote it, that there was a theory that it was a soldier,
Right.
a
So they
Confederate
believe.
soldier that was tripping the female waitresses.
And actually, they believe that there are a few Civil War soldiers that are still lingering here. Their spirits still stuck within the tavern. So, I mean, that's a possibility, because the whole area was a battleground. And like you said, 3 different campaigns in the
Right.
Civil War were fought right here in the town. And, so it's very possible, because there were a lot of temporary or makeshift hospitals that were set up throughout the town in the local businesses and the local houses. So, who knows? This place could have been used as a hospital at one time.
Right, because it did mention that many of the places around here were used as a hospital
Right.
during that time
That's
period.
exactly
so
right.
It could have very well been that this building was as well.
Yeah.
Now, on the bathroom note, one
Uh-huh.
thing I got to say is, the bathrooms were decent. They were. But single stall bathrooms, you go in there, you lock the door, that's it. And these are not my favorite types of bathrooms.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person that when I go in there and I need to use the bathroom for more of a long-term
Yeah.
basis, there's always somebody that comes up,
And
tries the
to-
handle, and then knocks on the door. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, the door's locked, you still got to knock on it.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable like that. You know what I mean? So I like multiple stalls, multiple bathroom options, but the bathrooms were very clean, toilet flushed, which was good.
Yeah, the bathroom was very clean on my end as well at the female side. So, yeah, pretty impressed with that. There's also something else I felt was worth mentioning. There was a couple that came in and sat a little ways away from us, and he didn't look like he was paying any attention to our entire conversation. But I noticed right towards the end, as they were served their food, he picked up his burger and he flipped it over, and then he glanced at me.
No.
He did. I
Did
swear
he
to God,
really?
yeah.
Huh.
So he probably was listening the whole time and thought,
That's a good idea. Let me try it.
That's a good idea.
So now everywhere we go, we're gonna see people eating burgers upside down.
Upside down.
Just because, not even because of the video.
Yeah.
But just because we were in there and you were eating it upside down. It's gonna be like that episode of Seinfeld where they're cutting the candy bar.
Right.
And then Elaine cuts the candy bar and everyone starts cutting the candy bar with the knife and fork.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible that a bunch of other people do that. I mean, it's more like probable that a bunch of other people in the world flip it over like that. It's just I've never heard of it before.
I've never heard of it before, and I've never seen two people in the same restaurant do it.
I know.
I think he saw you do it.
They're sitting at our table.
That's absolutely right.
Talking to the kids, everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I want to thank you all for joining us for this edition of Paranormal Pit Stops.
Yep.
Until next time, I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
And remember, the hauntings may stop. The hauntings may not stop, but we do. We do. And that's what the pit stop's all about.
Yeah.
So.